Okay, this is opening the Beelink SER8. It has an 8845HS AMD Ryzen mobile processor inside. As you can see, it's a very well enclosed box. Beelink went out of their way to prevent any side vents, any top vents. All you really get to see is like the large rear exhaust vents, I/O. It's very Apple-like in appearance, except for the giant emblem on top. Probably would have looked a lot better without this, but I don't know if Apple would have gotten them for copyright or something. But anyways, trying to open this computer, ran tests. Temperatures are incredibly low, unrealistically low sometimes, and I'm just like, I gotta really see what's inside there. And there are these rubber sticker feet that are covering the 4 screw holes that would traditionally be used to open a Beelink mini PC, and you've got the pull tab. So to get these little screws out, you gotta remove these little feet out. And there isn't a great way of doing it. I'm gonna go with tweezers and a little pry bar thing and hope for the best. Good grief, I don't like stickers. I already lost that 1 foot that I was just showing. But just dig right in here. I do not plan on replacing these stickers back on there. There's no good reason to have these on. Oh, alright, that's one. Just get that out of there. Mind you, you do need to remove these stickers if you want to add more storage to your device. There's an open SSD slot in there that won't otherwise be able to be used unless you remove these stickers. So, I really hope Beelink does the right thing and ships these things out to people with the screw holes exposed, but that's not guaranteed. See how well. Alright. Doesn't require much force to remove the screws. So, if I had to guess, this is just pretty much just how they get it from the factory. Some guy screws on the panel and then plops on this giant thing. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, we got 4 screws there, maybe about 8 to 10 millimeters long. Plastic panel comes right off. Just pull the pull tab. This is a real nice feature. I'm glad Beelink includes it so I don't have to dig in with pliers or a blade or something. It's just a plastic panel, so this is the right choice if you want some reasonable Wi-Fi connectivity. And there are the Wi-Fi antennas. Metal does block wireless signals. It's not going to like completely mute it, but it does kind of interfere it. There's some reasoning why people joke about people putting on tinfoil caps. It does interfere with Wi-Fi. So we'll just check this out. Got a whole metal mesh here. It's like a Faraday cage in there. Yeah. Probably reassemble this out and test out the Wi-Fi now that I think about it. Didn't have any problems downloading or installing software, just didn't fully test the speed. Not that I really can anyway. I only got a measly 200 megabyte per second internet speed here, so can't test anything too fast. I think most people are still like hanging in there with like 25 or 40 megabytes per second. So for those people that are like real specialists, like I must have the fastest Wi-Fi speeds ever. you're going to probably have to do a little bit more research than what I'm here showing. But this is a dust mesh that I really don't want to tear. What the hell are you stuck on? Ooh, there we go. Got it. That was totally not important. There are some very fine pads. Interesting. Well, first time I'm seeing a mesh like this. Don't know how much dust that's going to stop. Okay, now this is real interesting to me. Traditionally, Beelink has been using a 40mm fan to cool their mini PC. The RAM, the SSD, that's not here. What Beelink is doing is they've minimized their PCB as much as they could around the edges. They're sucking in air, trying to force air from the bottom of the case into the fan and exhausting it. That main fan that's on the other side of this thing, that's exhausting out of here, there's no other intake other than the bottom. So, it's kind of wild. Anyway, looks like we're going to try and disassemble all of this. First things first, let's try and get the little bits and bobs. SSD, heatsink. Ooh. Need more magnet pull. Magnetize. Come on. There we go. Now, you think I can remember which screws go where? That's why I'm recording it, because heavens helps me if I have a proper memory. Ooh, these are some weird thermal pads. Huh. For anyone curious, like, hey, what's inside a SER8, Beelink SER8 6900HX, here you go. I'm just going to toss that right there. Side-by-side comparison. Is this the... Oh, I have it the other way around. Ta-da! So, you can have a proper look at that. PCB layout is very similar. Now, the SER6 has a dedicated fan over here. I like this concept because you get forced active airflow on over there. Plus, it also encourages the designer to include their own fan header. You can now use that if you want to put in another fan. Over here, don't really get that luxury. They've done a separate PCB for the front I/O. That's wild. Does make removing that much easier, so let's give that a go. This is like way too overcomplicated of a PCB. Can I move it? Shoot. Okay. We're gonna need an extra scooby-dee. Yes, it does help to have 3 screwdrivers when opening a computer. Is it required? Absolutely not. If by chance you do not have a screwdriver kit of any sort, grab yourself a generic set of screwdriver bits, kind of like this. It's got like I think like 120 or so pieces, or maybe 100, whatever. They're kind of like cloned iBreak-U-Fix kits. Whatever. They're very popular, but they cost way too much for me. I just need cheap disposable bits. Oh no. They're using those smartphone connectors. Shoot. I hate them. Okay, well, they're using that. Mind you, if this thing ever breaks, you are screwed. Can I disconnect? Yes. There's so much fragile tape here. There. This, I believe, is just nylon tape. Non-conductive. Kind of sticky. Looks really cool. Best way I can think of it, very expensive electrical tape. But they're using it in such small quantities, I don't think it affects the cost that much. Alright. These standoffs, kind of sucky. They had the same things on the SER8, but let's see. We're going to figure out which socket size they need be. So far, what I have used is I want to say PH1? Yeah, PH1 screw bit has been the majority of what I've been using. And those itty bitty tiny screws right there, PH000. Alright, so I guess, my fingers, remove the RAM, here you go. 5600 megahertz, CL46, this is standard stuff. Beelink just has a ton of this stuff. They just put it inside the Beelink SER8 6900HX, even though the max RAM speed is 4800 megahertz. Kind of a waste of 5600 megahertz RAM, but you know, I'm not going to disagree. If they are making money by buying 5600 megahertz RAM in bulk instead of splitting their purchases between 4800 and 5600, like, go them. I'm not going to disagree with them. Here's an additional M.2 Gen 4 slot. I'm not going to disconnect that completely, but right, we need to figure out the socket. I think it's a M4 or M5. Let's see. M4 socket. Ooh, too big. Alright, let's try for M3. It might be 3.5. Ding, ding, ding. 3.5 it is. Alright. That's okay. I'm gonna get that back. Shoot. Alright, I'm just dropping everything in there today. Well, more the reason for me to disassemble it completely. If it's not obvious that I'm just kind of figuring all this out on the fly. Yep. Let's see. I need to get that one screw so I can get the SSD out. Socket head M3.5 for the removing the standoffs. 3 standoffs, okay. Alright. Let's see, I want a finer head for removing the M.2 screws. These things are just a slight bit smaller. I think I'm using a PH0 for the M.2 screw. Nothing too fancy. Just get that out. Get the SSD out. Less stuff in the way, less stuff that can break. Oh, some of you might have a curiosity to see this SSD up close. It's the same type you're going to find in the Beelink SER8 6900HX. It's an AZW SSD. There's no DRAM on this, but actually I don't remember if this was TLC or QLC. It's not particularly fast. Somewhere like a mid-range SSD. It's certainly not the slowest SSD I've ever found, but I'm pretty sure people can find faster SSDs. That is not too difficult. The goal, I think, with these pre-built mini PCs, get something functional inside of it. It's not going to be the blazing fastest or top of the line hardware inside. Beelink is kind of above average in my opinion for their internal hardware. Like, they include this kind of clip here for their wireless card instead of putting hot snot on it. Like, that I respect. Like, this makes my life so much easier that I don't have to scrape off glue from those connectors just to disconnect them. Alright, let's get that wireless card out. Pop off the antenna. I'm just using a very gentle amount of force with my nail. Just boop. And the wireless card. Get that focus. AX200 NGW. So this is a Wi-Fi 6, not Wi-Fi 6E wireless card. That is kind of surprising. This is the same type that's in the GTR 7 Pro and inside the SER6. So Beelink is not embracing the Wi-Fi 6E trend. I think I kind of respect that, but at the same time, I think some people are looking for that. Why is there hot snot there? Somebody done goofed. Someone was like, I am about to glue this Wi-Fi card in, and stopped. Oh, hello. Set screw. That does not belong in there. Alright. Gonna leave that there. This is actually a pretty nice beefy heatsink here. I can respect that. For those wondering, it is very similar to the SER6, although this is taller. Yeah, this has taller fins. The SER8 has taller fins than the SER6, which might explain why it has slightly better SSD temps. I'm honestly not entirely sure. I'm going to include the temperature measurements I did with several synthetic tests, pass mark, 3D mark, sign bench, pass mark, yeah, I already said that. Anyways, weirdly, the temperatures are much better than the larger GTR 7 Pro. Now, those of you who don't understand, like, heat transfer, bigger thing, more surface area, hypothetically, transfers heat better. But because the SER6 is technically smaller than the SER8, no, the SER8 is smaller than the GTR 7 Pro. There we go. It really shouldn't be transferring heat nearly as well as it is. I'm baffled, really. Okay. Okay. Oh, same size screw. Great. Alright, and then remove the wireless antenna connector. Brilliant. There's the heatsink, there's the Wi-Fi antennas. Yeah, this is not going to provide the best wireless connectivity. If you had, like, really long Wi-Fi antennas, like these, oh yeah, you get some range. These pads, much shorter range, but they have much more general area kind of connectivity. So it's a trade-off. You can have either longer range or better surround. It's not bad, it's very compact. Personally, I do like the antenna ears. Almost no PC manufacturer does go with that. Oh, that is wild. They're using a daughter board here for their extra USB and HDMI port compared, no, audio jack port and USB port. This is totally unnecessary, but I actually love this. This is an adorable daughter board. Is it gonna come out? Yes. Ish. No, it's all taped together. I am absolutely not disassembling this thing while the daughter board is attached. So, on the downside, I don't think this is very easily repairable for most people. This is going to be too challenging. Oop, there we go. Closer look. This is the extra USB port compared to the Beelink SER8. For you, those of you wondering, it's kind of just sandwiches right up top there. Beelink SER8, 6900HS, SER8. Good grief. Naming. This is how their I/O kind of compares. The SER8 has a slightly larger heatsink. That might be part of why the SER8 has better temperatures. Gonna open this up for those of you curious. And yeah, in the past, the way you would remove these main boards is you would tilt them, and you tilt them on the front I/O over here, and just pull right out. But because there's so much space here, you can possibly just shift it a little bit forward and then pull out the entire board. It's a little bit more convenient. I got mixed feels because you got all the extra daughter boards, but the main board is so much more easier to remove than things like the SER6 and most other mini PCs. Alright. What can you do? Guess everything is about compromise with mini PC. You can't have it all, not in a small package. There has to be trade-offs. Alright, something else is... Oh, we got two... Well, we got one little screw over here, and possibly another screw right down there. So small. Possibly another one here. Oh, there's actually three. So we got a tiny screw over here, tiny screw over here, tiny screw over here. I'm going to go ahead and start removing all that and try and get this main board out so I can see what's inside there and get my last standoff out. No, I actually need to... Which bit do I want to use? Decisions. It's going to be a delight trying to watch all this back and figure out where everything went. Wow. Alright. Let this be a lesson to everybody who's watching this. When you open this up, you're going to lose some screws in there. Ooh. Do I dare say? Somebody bothered to Loctite this. I don't know if it... Can I get this camera to focus? There's just a smidge of blue on there. Yeah, blue. That is some Loctite. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody cared to actually make sure this thing didn't shake free. I respect that. Yep, Loctite on this screw too. Alright. Please tell me I've removed enough of them. Ooh, yes. Now, do I want to remove the power button first, or nah? I don't think so. Okay. Standing is too much for me. I'm old. Ooh. There's nylon tape literally everywhere. Jeez. You know, I pity the poor technician that had to assemble this thing. It must take so much time. almost imagine the conversation that was happening between the technician and somebody who was giving the instructions. Like, you want me to do what? You want me to tape where? Like, buddy, that's gonna cost you extra. Yeah. No. Not exactly sure if that's the best move to go. The downside of having such a complex wind tunnel kind of effect going on here, there's a lot of turbulence. Like, a lot of turbulence as air is moving around and trying to bend around through the case and exit. It does create some weird hollow kind of sounds. Jesus. Alright. Okay. New way of pulling it out. You kind of want to grab it from the rear I/O. Come on. Come on. Yes. Oh, you are heavy. There is a heavy heatsink in these. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. Look at this monster. What the heck is this? This is 105 millimeters? Yeah, it's a 105 by 12 millimeter fan. You can read the serial number here. And it's 12 volt. What a monster. Jesus. Oh, I gotta talk to the engineer who thought this was a good idea. Well, this explains why the temperatures are so much better than the SER8. Here, let me show you what a normal mini PC fan looks like. And this is a good one, mind you. SER8 got a nice fan in there. But look at the size difference. What the heck? This is massive. It's by no means small. And this is already very quiet. So this is why this is so quiet. Jeez. That's mental. Yeah. Well, I like the heatsink amp. It is definitely bigger. For those wondering. Slightly wider, but definitely not as long. And supposedly, in there is the vapor chamber. Oh, hey, look, there's the CMOS battery. Alright. That is a... holy cow. You see this? This is glorious. This is a nice and proper vapor chamber. It might almost be... I'm impressed. This is about the same size as what's in the GTR 7 Pro. But they managed to fit it inside a smaller box. Yep, got that last standoff. So... what just fell out? Oh, hi. Screw. Alright, so this is the case. Yep, there's the rear I/O. It's empty-ish. There's no antennas on the inside. Hallelujah for those people that had to change antennas by digging out the entire computer. You don't have to do that with the SER8. Yay. But, yeah, it's fancy. And this is the fan and heatsink in there. That is incredible. This is a ginormous fan. It also might explain why there's a little bit of a... I gotta run this computer just without the fan, like pulling air around. And it does not look like I would be fortunate enough to add an additional fan down here. But, you know, with this extra USB fan over here, I could add a USB fan. Just connect that there and blow it on the other side. Turn it into a soup-size SER6. Except with an 8845HS processor. 780M iGPU. Oh, yes, please. That is... for those of you unsure, like, RDNA iGPUs have been marvelous for the past few years. Big step up from Vega graphics. So, alright. Now, who am I kidding? We're getting to 30 minutes here? Jeez, okay. Well, I guess in for a nickel, in for a dime. I'm going to go ahead and open up the rest of this thing. Hang on. Sanity just occurred to me. Always disconnect the fan before you're going to pop that thing off. Some of you are probably curious what the vapor chamber looks like underneath it. I'm not actually going to open up the vapor chamber because I don't actually want to replace any thermal paste or whatnot underneath. Right now, temps are fantastic. Never mess with something that's working fine. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Somebody stickered it. Somebody in Beelink company really, really likes stickers. All right, there you go. That is the vapor chamber underneath. There's a whole massive dedicated vapor chamber for the VRMs. Good grief. That is fun to see. Yeah, that's pretty much why the temperatures are so good. I'm impressed. Alright. Thank you for watching and sticking around for this long video, but I'm going to go ahead and condense this to some pictures and post it for people that are just looking for shorthand info. Alright.